Hey everyone, this is Ching with TrackVia. Today we're going to talk about variables within flows. So here's the architecture we've been working with for several of the other flows videos, but basically I have trucks, and trucks have many inspections, and under that we may have some additional faults or some maintenance records that we're going to track against trucks. So now, in order for us to make sure we can build a flow, we've got to make sure all the custom forms are created. So I have my add form and my edit form here, the review inspection form. And then I also have a new maintenance request form that I've created. The other thing I'll need is all my custom views. So here I have my truck inspections, which is the view we'll use to find the inspection once we're done adding it. So if we jump into our actual flow here, this is the one we built in the With Decisions video, so if you haven't seen that one, it'd be a good idea to review that. But basically we have our add new inspections, we've got a decision that we make, did it pass or not. If it doesn't, then we need to add a maintenance record. And if it has, then we'll just go on to reviewing the inspection and ending the whole flow here. So you'll notice in the find inspection step, we've already used the variable kind of concept by searching the record ID of the inspection. So in order for us to use a variable on a custom form, which helps us carry over a value, one, I've got to make sure my form's set up already. Now, of course, I'm adding a maintenance request against a truck that I've already selected, right? Because it's the one that I've been inspecting. So a variable can actually help me carry that over so I don't have to enter it again. So if we go back to our flows builder here, you'll notice that we selected that truck in add new inspection. So when we come over to new maintenance and the second tab being variables here other than settings, we'll be able to kind of map that out here. So we'll say add a variable. And once I add a variable, I'm going to name this. So we're pulling through the truck VIN number, right? That's how we're associating the inspection as well as this maintenance record. And here it says field with the value to be used. This is the reference field, so it's the field that already has that value entered into it. In our case, that is the add new inspection linked trucks. The second field here is field to put the value in, or the assignment, right? Where do I want to use this value? So this is specific to my new maintenance step. And so what we'll get the choices of here are just all of my maintenance form fields. In our case, we're putting that into the link to trucks field of the maintenance form. So it's a little confusing just kind of staring at this, but you'll see it in action and it'll make a lot more sense. So what we'll do is we'll come here, we'll go ahead and select from the add new inspections step, which is my first step here, the link to trucks. And so that'll give me the VIN number of the truck that I'm associating the maintenance with. So I just did the inspection on it. And then in my field to put the value in, I'll also select the link to trucks, but this time it's for my maintenance. So we did see both those relationships in the ERD there in the beginning. So we'll go ahead and select that. And that's it. So I have basically set up my first variable. So let's run through the flow so you can kind of see it in action here. So we'll go into the inspection with decision. We're gonna go ahead and put in some information. Here's where I select my VIN. And notice that once I've been placed on the maintenance form because of a failure, my decision worked, but also the VIN number carried over. And then my default value is there as well. So I can say, okay, great, I want to review inspection. It comes back to my main inspection. So these are two sibling tables that I've kind of run between the two. And you can immediately enter some notes if you wanted to and finish the entire inspection. And there we are back onto the dashboard. So we've just successfully pulled that through. Now let's say that I want to pull a little bit more information. Well, I can grab a calculated field that I've created on the truck inspection table. Here it's called Summary of Truck Inspection. And I can even hide it on the form. So it doesn't necessarily have to be showing for me to be able to use it as a variable. So I'll just choose something silly like the link to type is not blank. That's the only time it'll show. If it is blank, then it's just not going to show for me. And then we'll go over to our flows. So now if I jump back into our flows, we can go ahead and set up another variable. So not only will we pull through the VIN number of the truck, but we'll pull a full summary of the actual inspection through so that whoever my maintenance guy is can know exactly what's happening. So I select add a variable. This one's going to be called the summary of inspection. And because I've placed that field on the form, so because it's on the form already, I can go to my add new inspection step with the new truck inspection form and select that summary truck inspection. And even though it's hidden, I can still use it to place into the summary of inspection on the maintenance request form. Now, the summary of inspection on the maintenance request form does have to be visible for it to be able to stamp in that record. So we'll run through this again. Notice that field is missing. If I went ahead and selected a type, it would show up. Because it's a calculated field, it's not going to fill in until after save. So I'm going to select my truck and make it a reason to fail, put in an odometer, and click add maintenance. So once I've selected add maintenance, you'll notice that the VIN number of truck and the summary of inspection has now filled in. So that's editable. I've copied it into a new field. So I can actually change this if I need to, right? Forgot there was another issue with the calipers. And now I can review this inspection as a whole. So I've entered my maintenance request here, and we'll go ahead and say, yep, let's go ahead and review. And you'll notice that this calculated field called summary of inspection is exactly what it was originally when it was stamped into my maintenance record. And we can say finished. So that's a quick walkthrough of variables. It's a very easy way for you to carry values through the process. If you have questions, because it is a little bit more complicated than our typical use case, please feel free to contact us or go to help.trackvia.com. Thanks.